win. Entries cost £2. You can call 09068 782525. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge, or post your name and phone number to BK01, PO Box 7558, Derby, DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 2 p.m. on Friday the 25th of January. Good luck. Just imagine you could be our next big winner. That prize is worth over £100,000. Grab your phone, because entering can make you a winner. What a great weekend. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Austin.
Thanks very much indeed.
Lots more still to come, including Hollywood star Billy Zane joining us after the break.
Is he right here?
Lying.
Oh.
Jack's here. You're watching Good Morning Britain on ITV.
It just makes you just sigh, doesn't it? Does it make you sigh? Billy Zane is with us, by the way. Cal, of course, in the Titanic, amongst many other things. Do you sigh when you hit, or do you groan?
Does your heart go on?
I don't groan.
Don't you?
I don't. Is it cool to say you do? That song cuts me to the quick every time.
We'll talk about Titanic a little bit later, if we may. But lovely to see you this morning, Billy.
Lovely to see you. So nice to come back.
Fresh off picking up an award last night for a new film that you're in called Lucid. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was
the Gold Movie Awards.
The Gold Movie Awards.
Wow.
It's the second annual festival. It's an extraordinary thing. It's for independent films. So it's a film festival that I think is so prescient and much needed. There were, I think, 5,000 entries from around the world. Extraordinary films. And we were most grateful to receive Best Picture and Best Actor.
So tell us a little bit about Lucid as well, because it's the sort of thing I think I will be... Well, the trailer I've seen now is great.
Surely. It's about lucid dreaming, which I wasn't really aware of.
What is lucid?
Lucid dreaming is where one can, if instructed properly, can enter within dream state to consciously change perhaps their outcomes in the outer life, meaning within the subconscious you can almost have a dress rehearsal on how you will interact and deal, almost from third person watching yourself.
This is like a proper thing. I just watched it thinking, that someone's made that up, but what a brilliant idea.
No, it's a proper
I can do
thing.
This.
You can do it tonight.
What?
What would you do is the question.
Will you be involved in my lucid dream? Don't you worry about that. We'll talk about through later.
Oh, it's you.
But there's a number of fascinating things about this, not least that the director, Adam, is blind, and you didn't realise.
And he won an award last night as well. This is true. He has a degenerative eye condition, and was blind. I think legally blind when we started the picture. And but didn't tell anyone, probably understandably, as he probably thought he wouldn't.
Because you think it would happen to you.
Well, we had a giant monitor on the set, and he was inches from it, and I was wondering why. I was like, what's with the IMAX over? And then eventually it was revealed. But he had shaped his visual narrative and his sensibilities, throughout life. So it was unnoticeable, to be honest. And he's very, it was peculiar. But he used lucid dreaming to write the script and theoretically to direct it every day.
Fascinating. And the other thing I noticed about your character is that he's very hirsute. There's a lot of hair. He
Lots
has
of hair,
long flowing locks,
beards, grey locks, and and pajamas. I modeled the character after like Julian Schnabel and Hefner. He's a sleep specialist, so he spends a lot of time horizontal. I figured, why throw on other threads?
That's you. Can we stick that on there, Ollie, in the middle there?
There's Elliot.
What's it like to sort of go back and have hair again? Because we've seen you for so many years now.
Back to the future. Yes, it's. I never had hair that long.
No,
I wish I had.
Because John Travolta recently has come out and said, you know what? Enough with the trying to hide the fact that I'm losing my hair. I'm going to embrace it. You've always looked great with your hair. You shaved it off, quite early on, didn't you?
I don't know. Who's that? He did.
Why do men worry about it, do you think? Is
that a random bald man?
John Travolta, for many years, that's the point, isn't it? Yes, John Travolta.
Yeah.
He's recently come out and embraced
He looks great.
Yeah,
I did not recognize
I
him.
remember interviewing Bruce Willis once, and he said, when the grass stops growing, it's time to celebrate. And men tend to get very het up about this. But as Kate was saying,
women love it.
It's sexy.
I just recently shaved a mustache, and I had the sidewalls going, which ages you a bit, but I rather like it. Once a year, I'll kind of grow in beard and what's left of my hair, and I rather enjoy that.
Give the real estate a bit of time to sort of lay fallow for a while.
Yes.
You've also been working on a movie about Marlon Brando, Waltzing with Brando.
Correct. We're in town. The timing for the awards worked perfectly, as I'm in town with my writer, director, and our financer.
That's you, but that could be him, couldn't it? I mean,
the horror.
Extraordinarily like.
No, it's a wonderful film called Waltzing with Brando, about his time in Tahiti with his architect, building a not geodesic dome. The architect was known, Bernie was known for those, actually. But he was a forward-thinking gentleman in civil rights and indigenous rights, as we know. In this case, he was championing the environment, always ahead of the curve, Brando. So it's a charming and unlikely focus upon the artist and the icon and the activist, and he was trying to create a sustainable compound, 40 years before anybody.
And on top of that, as if you could have time to do anything else, we're about to see you in Sky's new drama, Curfew, which is street racing. Are you a street racer in this? What's your role there?
I'm an unlikely street racer. I've become a street racer, as have a handful of seemingly sane and extraordinary citizens been dropped in this, insane illegal race in the very near future. It's brought to you by the good folks who bring you Peaky Blinders and Black Mirror. But it's as if it's a high-octane, highly cinematic, almost 80s American movie piece of entertainment, which is not common on television.
No.
So it's funny, it's got action, it's got a horror element. It's like a John Carpenter movie, but your neighbors have been dropped into it. And we're dropping on February 22nd at 9 p.m. on Sky One.
Very good. Nicely
Times to perfection.
Neatly done.
Stay there for a bit, if you will, Billy. We've got one last look at the weather from Laura.
Love your home, whatever the weather. With Good Morning Britain National Weather, sponsored by Checkertrade.com.
Checkertrade.com.
Good morning to you. Well, the weekend is nearly upon us, and it stays fairly cloudy. A mixed weekend of weather ahead for many. Today it starts off dry. There is more rain later on this weekend, but throughout it stays mild, if not increasingly windy. This is the scene this morning with the cloud that's rolled in. It means it's not as cold to start this morning as it was yesterday morning, but a damp, drizzly start through southern areas, so don't get caught out by that today. The rain will slowly clear away from southern areas, limited amounts of brightness, a little drizzly through western areas, but milder today than yesterday, 8-9 degrees, maybe topping out at 10 through some western areas. On into the weekend. Saturday looks like a cloudy start. We have a spell of rain slipping its way southwards slowly. Behind it, as we head through to Sunday, brighter conditions move into Scotland, Northern England and Northern Ireland. Patchy rain slips southwards, but with that turns increasingly strong winds. So milder this weekend, rain most likely on Sunday. And as we head into next week, it turns increasingly wet and windy for many of us. For the weather where you are in detail, go to itv.com/weather.
So, Lucid, when can we get to watch it, Billy? Do you know when that's out?
This year.
It's coming out this year at some point.
Yeah, and internationally as well. UK, we're not sure the exact date, but stay tuned.
Sounds good.
Amazing.
Sounds absolutely
Thank
good.
you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much for coming in. Very good to see you. Excellent.
That's it from us. Good Morning Britain will be back on Monday at 6 o'clock. We're going to hand you over to Lorraine. Have a lovely weekend.